Hello everybody, this is part 2 of Scoops Ahoy, my Steve X-Listener series. It is the last part. This is set in Season 3, Episodes 6 and 7 of Stranger Things. So I hope you enjoy it. You were sitting in the vent, Erica and Dustin bickering again, before Erica started doing crazy maths. You looked at her, stunned, as did Dustin. He looked at you and you both giggled slightly. What? Holy crap. You're a nerd. What? No, I'm not. You did that in your head? You asked Erica as she had a very annoyed expression on her face. Yeah? It was an easy equation. Oh yeah, you're a nerd, alright. You pushed open a vent, popping your head through and seeing the same green liquid as before. Jackpot. You got out helping the other two up. Do you know how to drive? Can't be that hard. Max did it. Dustin looked, seeing, of course, no keys in the ignition. There has to be a spare. Move. You pushed Dustin out of the way, getting into the little car and kneeling down, pulling out the wires of the ignition. Do you even know how to do that? You stopped, looking up at Erica, not impressed. No, Erica, I'm just pulling the thing apart because it's fun. Erica scoffed, walking away, and Dustin started to look around. Erica and Dustin started having a conversation, not like you were listening too much. You were a bit busy. You haven't done this in a while and had never done it on a car like this before. Yes! Got it! Looked at Dustin, then where Erica was to see she was not there. Erica? Dustin U-turned fast, seeing Erica holding an electric rod type thing. What the hell is that? A deadly weapon. Erica gave a chilling smile after saying that, and you walked up cautiously. Then let's not point it at Dustin, you said, lowering her hand. You, Erica, and Dustin sat in the car. You in the driver's seat, Erica in the middle, and Dustin on the side. It was a tight fit, but it worked. Other than the fact, Erica kept flailing the thing around, nearly hitting you or Dustin more than once. The car to find Steve and Robin was full of a lot of fighting, Dustin yelling at Erica, and you nearly getting hit in the face and crashing the car, until eventually you grabbed the rod from Erica. No more, I will be holding on to this until we need it, you said sternly, making Erica grumble. Dustin brought out one of the many green containers he snatched and threw it burning through the ground and making an alarm go off. You all waited, as what looked like to be the leader ran out of a room you knew the two were in. Dustin grabbed the rod from your hands and ran in, screaming, hitting a guy right in the chest with it. He fell to the ground and you ran up to help Steve and Robin out. Hey, Henderson. It's crazy, I was just talking about you. Get ready to run, you yelled, getting to Steve, your eyes widening as your face dropped, seeing him. Hey, listener. Missed you. Steve swung his head around, smiling and mumbling under his breath slightly. You looked at him, a hint of red hitting your face. I missed you too, Steve. You finally got them out and ran to the car. You went in the back with Robin and Steve, telling Dustin he could drive. He was more than happy to. Dustin hit something, making the car shake. Jesus, man, slow down. Yeah, what is this, the Indy 500? It's 300. No, dingus, it's 500. You looked at the two very confused as they went back and forth before bursting out into laughter, as Erica and Dustin yelled, asking what was wrong with them. You had no idea. Dustin, not paying attention, he hit something, making Robin, you, and Steve fly forward, you landing on Steve. "You guys are right back there?" Dustin asked. You confirmed weakly and looked up at Steve. "Hey, beautiful," Steve said, wrapping his arms around you lazily. You blushed, pushing up and stuttering something stupid before yelling at Dustin that you were never going to trust him to drive again. Dustin and Erica opened the door, seeing you were trapped by Steve, and Robin was laughing at you. "Steve, what are you... Oh, never mind, we gotta go, now!" Erica and Dustin pulled Steve and Robin out as you hopped out after them, Steve grabbing your hand as you ran to the elevator again, Steve staying very close to you. He had this stupid grin on his face when you eventually got back into the elevator. In the elevator, Steve was on one of the red things that they used to move boxes, and Robin was holding it, moving it around, while they were laughing, screaming about how Steve was surfing. You, Dustin, and Erica looked at them, stunned and confused. They seemed drunk. Why would they be drunk? You just stared, mouth open, when Steve flew forward, falling to the ground. You yelled, moving back as to not get tackled. Robin screaming "wipe out" and laughing. Dustin ran up to Steve, feeling his head, saying he was burning up, then checked his pupils, which, according to Dustin, were super dilated. "Oh, God," you groaned, putting your hands on your head. "What?" You ruffled your hair slightly. "They're not drunk. They're high," you said, looking at the two. Dustin asked Steve where he parked his car, when the two started going on a rant about food, before Dustin asked where his car was again. Only for you all to find out you didn't have the damn keys. You all walked outside, you next to Steve due to him clinging. I'm gonna kill people. You all walked outside, you next to Steve due to him clinging onto you. Before, the gates opened and more guards came running through. "Shit, run, run!" You grabbed Steve running, while Erica grabbed Robin. Dustin opened the door, you dragging Steve through. "Why are we running?" You all bursted into the movies. Now, you were being dragged by Steve since he grabbed the popcorn from the trash and started to eat it. You groaned while he ran ahead of you, obviously getting excited for the movie. We're acting like children. Dustin yelled at the two of them to sit, Steve complaining about the seats. Dustin tells them to stay there as you three start to leave. Steve grabs your arm, groaning, asking you to stay. "Steve, there isn't a seat for me." You tried to make any excuses. Here you were, making excuses to not sit and watch a movie with the guy you've been drooling over for months. It. At this point, Dustin and Erica had apologized and ran off without you. With no choice, you nodded your head. Steve pulling you to sit in between his legs. Your face heated up as he played with your hair. Before you can either get into the movie, Robin got up, complaining about wanting a drink. That, of course, triggered Steve, and he dragged you out while you kept objecting. You eventually gave in, going with them. You stood at the other side of the wall as Steve practically drowned himself, and Robin started talking about the movie, making Steve very confused. Robin groaned, then pushing Steve away as it was her turn. After a while, you checked on them. "Guys, are you done?" You turned the corner, seeing them not there. Shit. Dustin and Erica ran out of the movies, running up to you after seeing you. "What happened?" "They were thirsty. I couldn't say no. I took my eyes off them for a second, I swear. They just disappeared." At this point, all three of you were panicking and starting to run around, looking for two very high people that were wanted by Russian soldiers. Dustin gasped. "Oh, the bathrooms!" You and Erica looked at each other before bolting to the bathrooms. The first one you checked was empty, but the second, lo and behold, there they were. Dustin started to yell at them for a second. "Listen up!" Steve got up, nearly falling, and placing his head on your shoulder, wrapping his arms around you. He started singing your name in a little tune. As Robin joined in, it became a full-out choir of them singing your name in different tunes. After a while of more puking on Robin and Steve's part, they seemed to be sobered up. And you all left the bathroom, joining the crowd of people leaving the movies. Dustin said you'd go in, get a bus, and go to his house. Yeah, I don't think that's a good idea. What? Why? Looked behind you at Steve. I may have told them your full name. What is wrong with you? Dustin whispered in order not to make a scene. Steve started to defend himself, saying he was drugged, but Dustin wasn't having any of it. Robin spoke up. Guys, look. You looked ahead of you, seeing a very obvious bad guy in front of you. Dustin started to say abort, as you all turned around fast and started to walk. Before they noticed you, then you ran. Steve pushed you in front of him, keeping his hand on your back. The escalators being closed gave you guys one way down, sliding down the middle. Following Robin, you had no idea where she was going, but obviously just went with it. You jumped over a desk, hiding. Steve put his arms around you protectively, and you leant into him, breathing heavily. As you started hearing footsteps getting closer and closer where you were all terrified. When you heard a loud alarm go off, making all of you flinch, you dug your head into Steve's chest, closing your eyes, when yells followed by a crash was heard. You slowly stood up, seeing the men on the ground with a car flipped over them. You looked up slowly, first seeing Nancy, then Mike. You smiled widely. They all got down. You ran up to Nancy first, giving her a hug, then Mike. Erica? What are you doing here? Ask them, it's their fault. Steve agreed, saying it was, in fact, their fault. Everyone started to rant and talk to each other, asking questions over questions and answers of answers. Didn't you hear the code red? Yeah, but I couldn't understand a word you were saying. Damn low battery. How many times have I got to tell you with the low battery, dude? Everyone started bantering once again. When Elle collapsed in pain, everyone ran up to her, asking if she was alright. My leg. Jonathan and Nancy unwrapped a bandage on her leg to show a red glowing injury. You all cringed, looking away for a second before looking back as it started to move. Time skip to end of everything because I was very lazy at writing this script, I'm sorry. If you want to know what happens after that, it's episode 8 of season 3. So go watch that and you can see what happens. You sit on the counter of you, Robin, and Steve's new job. That took you and Robin a unseemly amount of time to get him. Hey, babe. Steve walks up to the desk, putting his hand on your thighs and kissing your forehead. After everything that had happened, Steve had to go to the hospital. You stayed with him every day he was there, even when you weren't allowed in his room. Until one day, you were there, in Steve's room reading a book as he was watching TV, when he suddenly turned it off. Listener, you looked up from your book at him, seeing his face looked worried. What's up, Steve? Putting your book down, you walked over to his bed, sitting down on it. This whole thing has made me realize something important. You tilted your head. And what's that, Stevie? I like you. You froze, your laugh cutting short as your eyes shot open. What? Steve sighed before looking up at you, continuing. I like you a lot. I have for a while. I know it sounds stupid, but ever since that first time you came in to Scoops Ahoy, I was crushing like a stupid puppy. He takes a breath, calming himself as your cheeks burned red. And I don't know why it took me this long to tell you, but I just have to shoot my shot, you know. He gave you his signature goofy smile as you smiled back. So? He asked. Steve. I jumped into an elevator shaft because I heard you down there. I went through a secret Russian agency because you were. I went to Scoops Ahoy every day for months just to see you. So yeah, Steve Harrington, I like you. I like you a lot. You looked at him, his eyes wide as his goofy smile got bigger, and he took your hand. Can I kiss you? You smiled, leaning forward, saying a gentle yes before placing your lips on his.